We're down here at the Mount Capra bee apiary, which is actually right behind the camera. But I wanted to introduce the bee apiary from this angle because I want you guys to see just how close the bees, the chickens, and the goats coexist. They all are together, and we are trying to produce what amounts to a biodynamic, integrative agricultural setting. And that's exactly what we feel like we have, and that's exactly what we're trying to perfect and really grow here on the farm. And so let's go ahead and take a look at those bees, and I'll walk you through a little bit of the small amount of knowledge that I have and that I've acquired as a beekeeper. Bees communicate to one another via something called pheromones. Basically, it's the kind of magic way that bees are able to communicate with each other in total darkness. They have like 27 or maybe over 30 different pheromones that they can release. And so what a little bit of smoke does is it's so much stronger than their pheromones. So what I'll usually do here, temporarily give a little tap on the hive to let them know that they're sending out a signal to attack. I open up the if I was to get in here without smoke, I give them a little, my bee suit here would close more or less up protect me from getting stung. The smoke, the bees go through the hive, very agitated, and then I usually will give it a little bit of a puff in the, and then we can take a look and see how these bees are doing. Normally what they do with these Langstroth hive frames is they only lay the brood inside the cell caps, or each individual cell, so that you can take them out and put them back in without disturbing the actual brood. But in this particular case, this section of brood down here some of it will make it and some of it won't make it, and so the worker bees will clean it out and toss it out of the hive. So we're about 2 frames into this particular deep. This hive is very, very new, but it already needs another deep on top. And the deep is this section right here. It's this larger box. I'm gonna put a second larger box on it, and the deep is exclusively for the use of the bees. If I can catch sight of the queen, that'd be fantastic. If not, it's no big deal, because what I'm looking for is signs of the queen. And as I look in here, I can see almost immediately that each one of these little cells, at least each one of these little individual cells right here in the center, they each have the tiniest grain of rice. What looks like the tiniest grain of rice, like probably 50 times smaller than an actual grain of rice. But what that tells me is that the queen has been coming to each one of those cells and laying an individual egg in each one of them. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this back. I know I've got a healthy queen. I know she's laying. I've already seen some brood that's ready to hatch. And so I know that this is a strong hive. It needs a second deep. So I'll go ahead and put a second deep on it, and then we'll get into the next hive. I would consider myself an amateur beekeeper. So I'm not going to be teaching anybody how to keep bees, but I have some experience doing it. I'm a member of the Lewis County Beekeepers Association. And one of the reasons why Mount Capra got into it was because bees are in trouble. And there's differing opinions on how much trouble they're actually in. But one thing that we've definitely found that here in the Pacific Northwest, bees have a difficult time staying alive through the winter. And there's a real problem with colony collapse in our neck of the woods here. And so what we're trying to do really is bring the vitality to the farm that bees provide while helping establish a healthy and productive environment for bees to thrive. So as I close this up, I try to take all 10 of my Langstroth hive frames and center them in the middle so that it doesn't get lopsided at all. And then I'm going to take out my tools, and I'm going to put my lid, my inner hive cover, back on. And I kind of do this little trick here where I try to slide it one side and then I center it to try not to smash the bees, because we want to be friends. And with that, that's pretty much the extent to which Mount Capra has dove into the world of beekeeping. I hope you've learned something from this, and I hope you can at least walk away with the idea that bees are an integral part to any regenerative agricultural landscape. And that is why we have been committed to interspecies development, where the bees, the chickens, the livestock guardian dogs, and the goats all can live in kind of an interspecies harmony here on the farm and really make for a vibrant landscape.